Hello guys, welcome back to the video. Thank you for watching. We're here playing Conan Exiles and this is episode 2, how to build a circular tower. Now this has been done in various videos, and in fact I think we did a little tutorial in Cage's stream as well. But it's a useful skill to know, to be able to use. Your basic circular tower starts off with a hexagon of wedges. Now I'm actually looking at this and just debating whether this is a big enough area to start with, but looking at it I think we might in fact move a little bit. Let's go and find a bigger spot to build this. Just looking at the options available, in fact I like the look of that little plateau edge down there, so I'm going to jump down there and we'll try laying the thing out down there. Be back in a moment. Okay, welcome back. I in fact looked at the place that I'd picked and decided that wasn't big enough either, so I've come over here to the Chaos Mouth and we will build here. So what you need to do to start with is build yourself a hexagon for 6 wedges, and that is the smallest circular tower you can build. It's not going to be a particularly good one, but from that you can expand out. So what we then do is go to square foundations and we put a square foundation on each triangle, and it's going to be awkward and not let me place this one. There we go, and then a triangle to fill in the gaps. That is therefore a 2 circle, so you're in a circle and then your second circle, so that's a 2 circle diameter round tower, and you can just build walls, doors, whatever onto this as you wish. What you then do to continue expanding it, the best way to continue expanding it, is to put a square on each triangle, and you fill in the gaps with wedges. And you can keep building out like this, much as you like. What you do is you put squares on the end of each each wedge and fill the gaps with triangles, and that would make it out into a 4-ring circular tower. What you can then start thinking about, let's just do another one of these. And what you can then start thinking about is maybe expanding it, or having a passageway or a wall coming off one side of this. So for example, I could build a 2 wide corridor down here that leads into the tower and leave the rest of the tower as is. Or I could have the wall coming into here, either side, possibly here. So let's put that there, and have another wall here or here, depending on the angle that you want you can only go in 60-degree angles. Sorry to go with the maths on that. But for example, that would then be a wall which comes out this way. That will be a wall that goes out that way. You'd end up with one corner of a 6-sided castle, and your tower would come out from the wall, and you'd have an archer, say, sat at the top of the wall looking down here so that nobody can stand up or get up to the wall and not get shot, and you could have archers out, you know, further out along to defend against incoming purges or players. You can expand this as much as you like within limits. And this is where I've got to get back to maths again, because it's all about the structural integrity. The problem that I had when I was making my first base, my tower on Cage's multiplayer server, was that I hadn't appreciated or taken into account the structural integrity aligned with the fact that as a spiral staircase goes up the inside of the tower, you're missing ceiling segments, and so it takes away from the structural integrity of your ceiling, which is why when I got to the top level I couldn't find a way to actually complete the ceiling. What you've got to do is you've got to count in lots of 4 and 8 blocks, because with the structural integrity you can hang 4 blocks off something that's connected to foundation. What I've done here is I have built a wall at the outside of the 3rd circle. First circle, 2nd circle, 3rd circle. So there's a wall up there, and I've put ceiling in to match the floor tiles. Now you can only put 4 pieces of ceiling in because that's the structural integrity rule. I can't add any more to this side, this end. However, if I put another wall over at this side on the 3rd circle out, which is 1, 2, 3, so we'll put a wall there and follow the same ruling of match the floor. Always helps if you do it at the right height, however. There we go. So it's 2 triangles, then we get a square, and then we're into the central hexagon again. Now by the time you've built the walls all the way around, that will complete the central hex, and you've got a complete roof ceiling on your first floor. However, if you try and put a spiral staircase or a staircase up to that floor, you've got to take ceiling out in order to get the stairs up there, and it's going to remove some of the structural integrity. You're not going to get your ceiling in properly. So with this type of build, you need to build the staircase around the outside, or you can build the staircase up the central column. If I make some more foundations, let's make another, let's go with the 16, that's as many as I've got. I can take these out then. Put the wedge foundations in there. Come on. You know you want to fit on that. Come on. There we go. And same again. Okay. And what you can then do is build stairs up the inside of this central column. So I'd have stairs, then I'd have a wedge, 3 wedges, 1 wedge, then another stairs, then a wedge. And because I can extend the ceiling far enough, it wouldn't actually matter, because the ceiling, as you can see, will extend out to there. And wherever the stairs are actually going up, I can just remove the ceiling at that point. But you do have to be aware of the structural integrity requirements in order to figure out how far you can go with these things. If you're going to do an outside staircase, it's easier because you can do 3 rings out, and the reason it's 3 and not 4 is because this bit counts as 2 blocks. This triangle that points out to here doesn't connect to whichever wall you put on here. So you've got to go 1, 2, 3, and then the centre one is 4, which is your limit. You can do that, but then if you want to carry on, you can actually go out another few rings. And as I say, I can't tell you how many exactly because you've got to count with the number of blocks that you are laying down. It's 1 for a square, but then when you get one of these, it's 2 blocks to get to the next. So I think it's normally 2 or 3 rings out, but then 2 or 3 rings further out will get you to the outside wall, and you build in from the outside wall and out from the inside wall. And what you build up is a tower that I will show you when, probably next episode, I will show the second base that I built in my in Cage's multiplayer server. And the tower in that one has walls that come out at this distance, so it's at the 3rd ring, but they go all the way round in order to support the ceiling all the way up the tower. So that's how to build a simple, or as complicated as you like, circular tower. What I'll do now is I'll head back to our base and show you how that works for the black tower that we've built. Be back in a moment. Okay, so we're back inside our base, and the black tower here, you will see, is built according to that plan as I've just described. You start off with the central 6 wedges. You put 1 square on the face of each wedge and then fill in with a wedge, and then for the 3rd ring out you put a square on the wedge and wedges on the square. So we've got a 3-ring tower and built the walls up around that, and we could fill in the entire ceiling to make separate floors. However, because we're not using this tower, we don't need the space for anything. Kippies went for the decorative option, which I really like, and just offset each floor, built a ring around the outside and then the central circle, and the 2 squares just lead away from the door on that level, the entrance door on that level. And so each floor is then 60 degrees offset from the previous floor, and it gives it a really nice effect to look up or down on. We've got an extra circle outside just for looks as much as anything, but it also means that you can run around it, and we can set the stairs down. We've got foundations to set the stairs onto, and with the width that we did it, because the stairs are on the outside, it's 2 stairs up to get to the next floor. Then you have 3 wedges with the door against the middle one, then it's two stairs up, 3 wedges, 2 stairs up, 3 wedges, and the pattern just goes on, and you can keep building and building and building and keep going as high as you like. As you can see, we haven't actually finished the floor for the previous level yet, which is why we haven't carried on any higher yet. So that is how to build a circular tower. What I'm going to do next time is show the base that I built on Cage's multiplayer server, and we'll have a little discussion on location. There are so many different locations within the Conan maps that are brilliant for building bases, but the location that you pick can quite often determine the type of base that you build. We've picked this location, and because there is only the one entrance to it, which was up that ramp, we sealed that off with a wall and gate, and everything else is just our space. We could do what we wanted, so we've set up almost an entire village up here. Obviously, if you're on top of a mesa, so for example, if we wanted to build over on Wolf Rock over there, then you've got the approach up there, which you can wall off, but you're limited by the terrain as to how and where you want to build there. You could build some sort of a tower or multi-storey building around the main part, and then perhaps build up the vertical part of the outcropping. There are lots of these mesas, tablelands in the desert, which can be fun to build on. There are rock archways that you could build underneath. There's the crevice, which, as I say, I'm going to talk about next time. You can build and base your building within water, because that makes it, as far as I'm aware, that makes it safe from purges. Because if you're actually in deep water where you've got to swim to get to the building, then you can't swing a weapon when you're swimming. And so on some of the islands, for example, over here on the east side, this island, certainly this one, not sure about that one, but you could build on this island right the way out to the water, into the water, and nobody will be able to get at you. So there are purge-proof bases that you can make. Whether that defeats the object of the purge, that's for you to say. However, that will do us for this episode. Hope you found it useful and informative, and I will hopefully catch you next time for the crevice. Catch you soon, guys. If you like what you see, please remember to hit that like button, and if you want to see more, subscribe to the channel. Take care.